Everyone in the crowded school hallway heard it snap. A delicate chain broke and scattered tiny glass beads across the floor. For a moment, the world seemed to stop. Saira stood frozen, staring at the shattered remains of the necklace her late grandmother had gifted her. In front of her, 3 popular girls smirked, satisfied. But they had no idea what they'd just started. Saira was used to being quiet. After her family had moved to the city 6 months ago, she'd kept to herself at Northfield High. She was the girl in the back row, the one with headphones and a notebook full of drawings. She didn't wear flashy clothes or hang out with the trendy crowd. And to some, that made her a target. Her necklace, a delicate silver chain with a tiny lotus charm, had been the last gift her grandmother gave her before passing away. She wore it every day. Not for attention, but because it made her feel strong, connected, loved. But for girls like Malia, Ruby, and Jenna, anything different was something to mock. They ruled the halls like they owned them, throwing shade, whispering insults, recording people for their private group chats. Saira had tried to ignore them. That day, she was walking past the lockers when Ruby suddenly yanked at her neck under the guise of brushing past. Oops, Ruby grinned, holding half the chain. Didn't mean to tug that hard. Must have been cheap. The laughter that followed from her friends echoed through the corridor. Other students watched, some even recorded. Saira dropped to her knees to gather the scattered beads, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from something deeper. Something growing. She stood up slowly. You shouldn't have done that. Malia rolled her eyes. What are you going to do, draw us to death with your sketchpad? What they didn't know was that Saira had been training in martial arts since she was 7. Not because she liked fighting, but because her parents believed in strength through discipline, control through focus. She had spent countless evenings in the dojo, mastering balance, speed, and patience. She never wanted to hurt anyone. But this wasn't about revenge. This was about self-respect. Later that afternoon, the 3 bullies were waiting for her by the bike racks. It was the place they usually used to corner their victims, out of view, away from teachers. Saira knew they'd be there. And she was ready. Still mad about your toy necklace? Jenna said as Saira walked up. Crybaby. Saira looked them in the eye. You owe me an apology. The girls laughed again. Malia took a step forward. Or what? What followed was less than 10 seconds, but it changed everything. Malia reached for Saira's backpack, and in a blur, Saira turned, dropped low, and swept her legs. Malia hit the ground hard. Ruby lunged, and Saira sidestepped with ease, using her attacker's momentum to throw her off balance into the bike rack. Jenna froze. I didn't mean to, she began. Saira didn't move. She just looked at her, calm but unshaken. Then don't be part of what you can't stand up for. By then, a few other students had gathered. Phones out, mouths open. Not because of the fight, but because someone had finally stood up to them. And not with anger or chaos, but with complete control. Word spread fast. Videos circulated. But what shocked most students wasn't the takedown, it was how composed Saira was. No yelling. No trash talk. Just pure focus. Later that day, Saira was called to the principal's office. The video had reached him too. At first, he asked sternly what happened, but as he watched her sit respectfully and speak clearly about the events, his expression softened. You showed restraint, he finally said. That's rare. Most kids would have acted out in anger. You defended yourself, and you did it with maturity. I'm impressed. The girls who had bullied her were given detentions, social media bans, and mandatory counseling. Saira didn't celebrate their punishment. She didn't need to. In the days that followed, students who had never spoken to her came by to say hi. Some apologized for laughing or staying silent. And some, quietly, asked if she could help them learn self-defense. Saira started a small martial arts group after school, open to anyone who wanted to learn, not just how to fight, but how to feel safe and strong in their own skin. She never raised her voice. She never boasted. But her quiet strength began to change the culture of her school. One day, a younger girl who had always walked with her shoulders hunched came up after class. I saw what you did. You gave me hope. Can you teach me too? Saira smiled, touching the repaired necklace now hanging proudly around her neck. Yes. And you'll be stronger than you think. The lesson wasn't about breaking bones. It was about breaking limits. Breaking fear. Breaking silence. And more than anything, breaking the belief that kindness is weakness. In the end, Saira didn't just break their egos. She rewrote what it meant to be powerful.